How's it going? How's it going? Welcome. How are we, Terry?
Good. How are you, bro?
Good, bro. Hey, just obviously out to all the viewers out there, safe space for those to jump on board, have a Talanoa with us. We're big on mental health, but also probably honing in on one aspect of normalizing the Talanoa, breaking down stereotypes, improving relationships and upping the recovery. So this is a safe space for those. We also share our experiences as well. Just a disclaimer, we are not professionals, but we are professionals. So yeah, and I'm Edge Walker.
And I'm Teza. Again, just to touch on what Wills was saying, we're not professionals, but we try our best to share just experiences. And with guests that do come on, man, it's always good to hear their side and how their struggles have got them through life. And I say this every week, and we all have a story to tell. It's our stories, your stories, everyone's stories, and this platform we built on the brothers, because a lot of us out there, especially men, don't want to share nothing, and we started like that. We didn't want to share, but how can we create a safe place for us as men to come together and just open up? The brother Wills always says, one step at a time, and that's how we've been going every week, just one step at a time. But what's more, I guess, more important to hear is our women, our ladies, our wahine. They have a story to tell too, because you only hear our stories, our as men, our side, and what better way to get these lovely the lovely duo from Blutable Podcast. They've done amazing things. The community, they're big on community, and with their podcast during the day, man, it's so fun to listen to, because you have the likes of these professionals, PEA and Claudia, where they, it's hard to compare their podcast to ours, because it makes it look cheap. So without further ado, we'll try and bring on the beautiful PEA and Claudia. We don't have our producer Pat today, because he's busy. But I'll try my best. I'll try to live up to his expectations as well. So welcome, ladies. Welcome to For the Boys podcast.
Thank you so much. As soon as we got boarded, I actually kind of felt a little bit nervous. I was just saying beforehand that we are huge fans of your podcast, and every single week we like to tune in. And for us to just even be here actually on the show with you is so overwhelming. It's such an honor and a privilege to be your guest, and I'm actually kind of getting a little bit starstruck at the moment.
Hey, don't lie, okay?
No.
How are you? How are you?
Terry, what are you paying her?
I know. I'll talk to you after, okay?
Hi, what's up, everyone? Manuna.
Yeah.
Guys,
let's go.
I'm kind of super. I'm so nervous. It's different. It's different being on the other side, getting asked the questions. But you know what? I agree with and I absolutely love this podcast. It's important that we, that our men have a safe space to share, because I know it all too well. Our poly boys, it's all good, bro. But are they all good? But I think it's time for the women as well. I speak as a wife to also watch these podcasts so that we can, so we learn. So it is important, and it's an absolute honor being on here, guys. So sorry, just
yeah. Hey,
Hi,
take it easy, guys. Nah, take it easy. We are. I think we're a bit more nervous on this end because you guys are professional podcasters and we're just wannabe.
No, we're not.
So we're trying our best. So
No.
to all their fans that come through, I know we're a bit low budget on this end. Just bear with us, eh?
No,
You
not
better
at all.
Is that mad?
How much are you getting paid is the question.
Oh man, it's all for love, eh? You know, mental health doesn't stop. Whether we get money or not, please give me some money if you're looking to sponsor us.
If you're watching, if all the funders are watching tonight, please hook up the boys.
Yeah, 100%. Please, nah. Hey, we'll get the show going because we had a good chat before too, and I didn't want to stop it because you know sometimes when you have a chat, you know the good stuff comes out. You don't want to stop there. So without further ado, again, we just want to, if you have a question in the chat, please throw it through, and we'll try our best to play it at a reasonable time so the ladies can answer. Or if you have questions for myself or Wills, yeah, by all means come through. Happy Diwali as well. You're going to hear a lot of fireworks in this era because yeah, Diwali is going 100 over here. So ladies, just a introduction, and yeah, we'll start with you, Claudia, please.
Damn it, I was hoping that you wouldn't choose me first. Well, my name is Claudia Sanchez, as most of you guys know. I was born in Peru to Peruvian parents, so I am Peruvian, descendant Japanese, but we moved to New Zealand in 1994. My only and younger brother, he has Down syndrome, and so we thought that New Zealand was going to provide for a better life for him, which it has, and we're just so grateful. And not really sure. This is a lot harder than I thought it was, so I kind of feel bad for, I guess. But is there anything else that I should be answering?
No, well, yeah, that's we don't expect too much, but
That's me.
yeah, over to you, Bear.
Sup, everyone. My name is Bear. I'm single. Kidding, guys. Guys, my name is Bear.
You gotta get our podcast shut down, man.
Sorry, guys.
Silent watching, FYI.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bear. I am a mum of 3 girls, Trinity, Liliele, and Talia. I am married to a wonderful man who is very patient, and his name is Falasemu, and he is watching right now. I am Samoan, part Tuvalu. I hail from the villages of, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I'm from Samoa, and I'm part Tuvalu, and I was born and raised in GI, Glennon, east side, but we now reside in Manurewa. I have an awesome ainga, the Vaitolo ainga, and also my extended family, and we own a small family business called Vaitolo Celebrations as well, which is a very, very stressful business, but otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. And we also work at Blue Wave.
Yeah, shout out to the Blue Wave team, and also you know the work they put in behind the scenes. I think we got a snippet of it when we came in, and we jumped on the ladies' podcast, and the team is so welcoming. You know, when you walk through the door, you know, it just felt so good. Just back with you, Claudia, and you mentioned you have a younger brother with Down syndrome. How has that been since moving to New Zealand? How's your brother been, and how's the family?
You know what? I think the perception that people have is that having a member in the family with disabilities can be a bit of a burden. But to be honest, my brother has been the absolute biggest blessing that my whole entire family could ever have. Like, through him, we have learned what love is, what compassion is. He has been so welcomed into the community. I know I went to Holy Cross School, Papatoe, and so did he for primary school. So shout out to anyone that's watching from Holy Cross. You know, they gave him like his own personal teacher aide to look after him. In high school, he was loved. And I think my brother, every single day, okay, and so every single day before I leave home, right, regardless of what I'm wearing, whether it's just like, you know, my tracksuit pants and like my socks and jandals, or whether I'm like nicely dressed up, my brother just stands there and looks at me and he's like, oh my God, you're like a model. Like, I love you, you're amazing. And it's just like that consistent, like, hype person, like your own personal cheerleader, that you get every single time. That honestly, I absolutely love him. And he's honestly, he's a lot more accomplished than me. He's been on so many different like ads. He has done so many different speeches. Like, he has gone to so many different fundraisers with like multi-billionaires, and he's done speeches and all of that. And if anything, he's an inspiration to me. Like, I know that I need to do more so that I can kind of be the bigger sister that he deserves. But honestly, it's just been a huge blessing. With my parents, I know that sometimes I put a little bit of pressure on myself being the oldest, because my parents left a very well-established life in Peru to come here, and they sold everything. My father is an engineer and university lecturer, but New Zealand didn't recognize those papers because we come from a South American country, so he hasn't been able to work in that field in New Zealand. And my mum is, she used to work in a bank in Peru, and was an accountant. And again, like, she wasn't able to get those papers recognized in New Zealand. So that's been a little bit hard, because I know that the life that we live here in New Zealand isn't the life that we would have lived in Peru. So like, I think sometimes I do hold a little bit of pressure and burden on my shoulders, because I know that, like, man, I really need to kind of like give back to my parents for everything they sacrificed for us. But I love my family. I'm just so blessed to even be part of them.
Yeah, like you said, man, your brother's amazing. So I mean, I'll be so happy to, you know, get him on the show. So just talking about how
a lot of that as well.
Oh man, see, we might have to pay him, so we probably can't afford to bring the brother.
Yeah.
So any charity work, just touching on how you said, you know, the life your parents and yourself had in Peru, and now you moved to New Zealand. It's kind of like how, you know, our family, or say, for example, I'm just talking about myself. My mum and dad, you know, they left everything in the Cooks, and they moved to New Zealand with nothing. How was that transition for your parents? You know, because they had now to start from scratch.
I think with my parents, like, they don't speak too much about it. Like, for example, because I moved to New Zealand when I was just about to turn 2 years old. So when I was born, and every single time, so we are from a city up north from the capital of Peru. And, you know, and when I used to get sick or when I needed medical treatment, like, my mum will literally get on a plane with me and fly to the capital just to get seen by the best doctors. So we kind of left that type of life, or my parents left that type of life behind. But they've never ever once complained about it. They've never ever once compared, like, and they've never really told me. Like, I only really came to know about it when I went to Peru for the first time when I was 12. And I was like, all right, like, you almost feel guilty sometimes. Like, you know, you're like, okay, like, they established themselves so much and they sacrificed all of that just for their 2 kids. And like, sometimes you don't feel like you've done enough to give back to them, even though they've never like said that. They were like, always said they're really proud of us and everything, but like, you almost feel guilty that you were the reason why they took that transition. But they've never really spoken about it. They've only just spoken about love and how much they just appreciate being able to even live here in New Zealand. They always see the positive things in life, like, always see the positive things in life. And like, for example, like, this is one of my favorite stories about my dad, like, and I admire him so much. Like, he's from this city in Peru called Ventarrones. And like, this is why I wear my cowboy hat, because my grandfather, like, you know, it was this huge farm that had horses, and like, wearing a cowboy hat makes me feel closer to my culture. But my father growing up came from a very poor family, couldn't afford shoes. So he would literally get like a black vivid marker and just paint his feet so it would look like he's wearing black shoes. So he went from that to going to the capital, to going to university. Then he went to Japan to teach for a year as a university lecturer. And it's just like that. I know some people have like these massive role models like Michelle Obama and all these other people, but my parents were like them to kind of go through nothing to everything. I'm like, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind.
That's a lot of hard work the old man had to put in, and you know, it's so good to hear these kind of stories, and especially because you know islanders migrate and to kind of you know make a better you know create a better life for their kids, and in turn you know they give back to them when they're older. That's you know that's their whole process, and with you Bear, you know you. We spoke about a few things when we had our podcast and face to face, and I felt the love that you said through you know how you wanted to you know change a lot of things in life. How has it been as a parent and your growth? If that makes sense, does it make sense, guys? I ramble on a bit too much sometimes. I think we're having some technical difficulties.
Sorry.
I thought you were having a fight there. Looks like you're throwing hands.
You me?
Yeah. Did you get my question? I thought I had like the motivational question, but it wasn't.
No, you know what? I think connection's like really bad. So I was kind of like, sorry, can you repeat your question?
So what?
I
So
was
what
just
could
talking
be-
about our, yeah. I'll cut down the 10 minutes I was asking that question, but I'll just say, as a parent, how has that been, and how's the growth for yourself?
So for the,
As a
I'm so
parent.
sorry. My connection is so. As a parent, how?
Am I breaking up or?
Oh my gosh. No, it's me.
Oh, okay.
Maybe use your phone data, Bear. Maybe go like log in through your phone.
I think your
See,
internet's nervous.
the good thing about this is that it's always my fault when it comes to this sort of stuff. So it's good to see again everyone else's data playing up. But yes, sis, if you've got that, if you heard, it was just about how's the family life been?
Oh, sorry. Okay, how's the family life been? I'll be honest. The family life is easy because I've got
I think the data's playing up.
So what she said was the
Yeah,
family life
it
has
is.
been easy.
Hang on, I'm gonna-
because of her lovely husband. She's been able to get through stuff, and
Yeah.
also the kids have also kept her on her toes, and the
Sorry,
business is doing amazing.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Family life. Sorry. Yeah. It's been easy because I've got an amazing support system. Most of the time, I do act like I'm single, but I'm not. Fella, my husband takes a lot of the load. My mom, my in-laws, I swear, I have the whole village take care of my kids, and not only my kids, but as myself as well. So shout out to my mom and my dad who still baby me, and I think I've kind of just abused that a lot, and so I've now just kind of like thrown my kids in the mix as well. I kind of thought, well, if they're going to baby me, they might as well baby my kids as well. But family life is good. It's stressful, It is definitely stressful. I think my latest edition. My husband said maybe it's the alcohol. Maybe, or maybe it's just you.
Okay, no fights, okay, guys? Safe platform.
Hey, just it's been easy. Like I think latest edition. That is my connection, eh?
Yeah.
Go on your phone.
We might have to reach out to one of. Reach out to
Yeah, I'm gonna try and.
Yeah, all good.
I'm going to call producer Ram.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Yeah. Sorry. Back to you, Claudia. So, where did you? You obviously did your schooling at St. Where was it, in Papatoetoe?
So I actually went to Epsom Girls Grammar School.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then, how did you get into podcasting, or sorry, as your job, and how did you move into that realm?
To be honest, I have absolutely no idea how I got into podcasting. Because I graduated at university. I graduated from AUT, majoring in marketing, and I studied psychology as well. And after that, I worked as a category manager at Fletcher's. And then I was a marketing manager at Pakuranga Plaza. And then I actually resigned from that role because myself and a friend of mine, we actually started up our own social marketing business. And then we started working for Blue Wave. And then Bear was doing her podcast show. So it was Traffic Jams, and she was doing it. And then one day she invited myself and Hannah on the show. And it was really, really, really nerve-wracking. That first ever podcast interview was so nerve-wracking. So I had my first interview with her, and then she brought me on along again. I think maybe a guest had canceled or something, or she didn't have a guest, so like they just brought me on. And to be honest, I really don't know how it kind of transitioned into it becoming Bear and Claudia, but it turned out to be Bear and Claudia podcast show. And it's funny how things work out, because like our Bear has been one of the biggest blessings in my life, and the podcast has been one of the biggest blessings in my life. And just being able to meet all these beautiful souls and all these beautiful people like yourselves just through podcasting, which is not really like something that you kind of go to school and go, yeah, when I grow up, I want to be a podcaster. Like, you don't really think that. But there's just so many blessings that I have gained through doing the show that I'm just so thankful that whatever pathway that I took to like land me here, like I'm just so grateful for it. But yeah, I honestly don't know how I got into podcasting. It just happened.
But it looked like it was it was a normal transition for yourself, though. Like it in no way did, like when I first started watching your guys' lives, like it just didn't look like out of place. Did you do much like research, or did you had to, I don't know, change up everything, or was it just pick up a piece of paper, and just act?
Because I work with Blue Wave as well, and so we kind of just did like a whole entire rebranding of Traffic Jams, and so it went from being called Traffic Jams to like Blutable Podcast. And the thinking behind Blutable Podcast is that we wanted people to associate a blue table with the podcast. So every time you come to a blue table, right, you're going to have a yarn, you're going to have a laugh, you're going to have some hyenas laughs, as you do. And so after that branding, like I said, somehow I managed to become part of the duo, but there was no planning, there was no researching. I think the beauty of it is that Bear and I, we mesh so well. Like I know that Bear's strengths are what I lack in myself, and vice versa. And it's funny because I know a lot of the times when we're on a podcast, and if like one person is kind of like low on energy, then we always know that the other person can kind of like pick up the slack. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like we just mesh so well. And honestly, when we like turn the camera on and we go live, there is no strategy behind it. There's like no planning. Like, we just write out some questions. We were like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about this, and they're like, you talk about this, and then you talk about this, and it is what it is, what we say it is. It's literally a real conversation that we have on the Blue Table. So like more often than none, we actually make a lot of mistakes. Like, I make a lot of mistakes. I make a lot of jokes that never like land and they fail. But it is what it is. It's exactly what Blue Table states itself has been. It's just like a real conversation between two girls and our guests.
So
And
it's,
welcome back to Bear. You made it.
Yeah, so we're asking you the same question.
Sorry, guys. Back.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Oh, okay. So we're asking you. We just finished asking Claudia on
Am
how
I
you guys
disconnecting again?
kind of.
No, you're good.
You're good.
No, you're good. You're good. Just on the chemistry on how you guys work together with your podcast and stuff. So she was just talking about your strengths and how you guys do things. Can we see your view on how things are?
Oh, yeah. I'll say it's the yeah. I'll say it's the same. I mean, like as a Pacifica woman, you know, in a Pacifica type, you know, the company itself was to cater to our Pacific, right? And then you have Claudia, who's come in and she's ruffled the feathers, right? And not in a bad way, in a good way. And she's really kind of, for me, she's made me realize the skills that I had in me. She managed to surface those. And I don't think, you know, I think you have to be kind of really, really tight to be able to have that, to have that skill, because, you know, I've been married a very long time, and just some of those skills, it would never surface because, you know, it's just different. Whereas me and Claudia was a different kind of relationship. It was a different kind of vibe. And she did that for me. So what I thought was a weakness in me, it was actually a strength, because we navigated through certain things together. So the strategy itself just kind of like, it's been a blessing, like that everything kind of fell in place with the support of the Blue Wave team. Like, they've been amazing. Like, you know, Martin right now is quite busy, but otherwise he's been that person for me, like, you know, 100. But when Claudia came through, she picked that up, you know, for me. So, you know, we became best buddies, and we understood each other, and she understood my weakness, and so it was vice versa. And we just we used that to bring the show and to, you know, to life, and to make sure that, you know, it's real. Like, it's none of this. Well, it's what you see is what you'll get outside. Like, if you see me and Claudia outside at the supermarket, you can expect us to be laughing and giggle, and nothing has changed. Like, really, like I think one of our guests, you know, Dr. Brad is probably one. He said the same thing. You know, he said, "Oh, you guys are just exactly." And I go, "Well, what we can't, we're exactly, we." That's it. I don't. There was really no strategy. I just think it was just God put us on a journey together, and this is our season. And Blue Wave is I'll be honest, Blue Wave is probably going to be my final destination. I absolutely love it there. So, I no strategy. That's pretty much what she said. Is pretty much what I would have. It's just a repeat of what I'm saying. Yeah, hearts and soul, I reckon.
Nice.
Oh man, that's so good to hear, because you know, we try and like formulate.
Am I frozen again?
Nah, you're good. You're good. Are we frozen?
Maybe we should start moving.
Yeah, start putting some music on, dancing. But I like how you said that you guys kind of like, there's like a puzzle. It kind of fit together, and it was so good. That's how I think it's been with us in our show. Like you say, what you get is what you see in real life, and that's been the same with us. But how do you guys when you're apart, how do you guys like to say reset or take time for yourselves?
Do you know what? Like, I think like I said before, like Bear has been one of the biggest blessings in my life, that she is not only just like my podcast co-host from Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Like the way I reset as well is even outside of his hours, like Bear is like this huge rock for me. Like, and it's funny because like I know that people say that you have your romantic soulmate, right? That just knows exactly what you are. But like, I think Bear is like, she really is like a platonic. I'm going to say platonic because I know she's married, but I'm going to say she is a very platonic like soulmate with me. Like, I don't know how she does it, but like, she knows like without me telling her when I'm sad, like she knows, and she'll message me and like, she'll give me these encouraging words that like, I don't know how she does it, but the word she chooses just goes like, it makes everything in my head click. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's good. Like I got this. So like, even though like we have the podcast, like outside of the podcast, like Bear is a huge, like still a huge factor of me resetting. But apart from Bear, like I like going to the beach. Like that's just my happy place. Like I recently bought myself a paddleboard. So now I'm paddleboarding a lot, but honestly, it's the beach that is it for me.
Oh, nice. Bear?
Oh my gosh, Claudia, you're gonna make me cry.
No, don't cry because your leg.
It's the same for me. My reset is actually as what it would have to be the same thing, you know. Like you said, Tessa, like bro, it's like a puzzle, you know. When I'm feeling like crap, like shit, like I don't even know who to reach out to. After certain events in my life, I kind of find it really hard to trust people. I mean, apart from like, my husband, I'll tell him whatever, but it's, you can tell them so much, but the response is different. So whereas Claudia will respond in a way where I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, that's what I needed. Otherwise, Blue Wave is my happy place. My kids, my happy place at home. Like, I don't spend a lot of time in the main house. My happy place is actually in a very quiet place that I call a tree house, which is our sleep out. And just, that's how I reset, like have a couple. And just seeing, like, I've been walking lately, picking that up because I need to avoid the alcohol stuff, but it's really hard because like I actually live at the house that I live at is like there's 11 people here. It's like 3 houses and like 11 humans, so you kind of really don't have the time to reset, so you kind of have to like make it up. So it's Blue Wave, Claudia, but otherwise, yeah, if there's nothing else.
Do you know what? I think it's
that's
probably
the
like
sad
really,
reality of alcohol.
I think it's like really important
My
to like
reset.
state that like even us, like I know that a lot of people have like this like perception.
This is
of
not
us.
the AA meeting, eh?
Like people have a perception of us always being like these really happy people, very bubbly on the show, because that's what we protect. And like, our podcast show is our happy place, but it's also very important to kind of just mention that we are humans. And even though that's the people that you see, we still have our moments where we're sad, and we still have our very low moments. And I think it's just important to just find or identify that one thing or that one person that you know that when you are in that moment and you need someone to kind of like get you out of that dark place, that you identify what that is for those moments. But like honestly, we are still humans. Like we still have our very lows.
Yeah. You said you know, those dark moments and PEA again, you know, your reset is it's moving away from home or just getting out. Sorry, Claudia, I just want to touch on that those dark moments. How did you get yourself through it? Because at times, you know, we don't all know the answers to everything. But what kind of steps did you take to get you out, or put you on a path that's heading in a way that's you know, bettering yourself?
To be honest, I think it was, if I'm being perfectly honest, I think it was just my family, because I remember that in my darkest moments were like after I moved back from the States, because I left New Zealand, we moved to the United States of America, and I was working 3 jobs and I was studying full time. And by the end of that year, I was just so worn out that when I moved back to New Zealand, I was at the lowest of my lowest points. And I think for me, it was just that I guess that determination to not give up on myself. That just kind of like one day I was like, do you know what? Like, Claudia, this is not who you are. Like, I know this is a wrong word to use, but I literally said to myself, I'm like, you're not weak. You are strong. Like, you can get yourself out of this. And I literally just stood up, and I'm not like ashamed to say this. Like, I literally just rang up the doctors and I was like, hey, like, I really need to go see a counselor. Like, I know that I need someone to kind of just like guide me through this that isn't emotionally connected to me. So I did that, and that's what helped me through. But it was just, I guess, my determination to not give up on myself. And yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I just didn't want to seem weak. I know that's the wrong word, but that's what got me through that low moment.
No, I get you. It's those self motivation, like just motivating yourself to like better, just be better at, or push forward, push past that that boundary. Because I think we've all got that pep talk in us where you know, we're going for a hard day and it's like, bro, you know, stand up or do something better than what you did, because you know you can do better, you know you can fight through. And just having, like, saying that, like, these are word, like for example, you just said, I don't want to be weak. That maybe that one word that pushes you past the barrier. And I think I said that too. Like when I was playing sports at a high level, at a very high level, a very high level, you know, that's what you'll tell yourself. You know, you jump on the field, you're getting a hiding. But what do you say to yourself? Like, give up? No, you don't. You just get, look, I can do it. I can push past. Even then we're getting hiding 100-0. At least make it to the 80 minutes. You know, those little things that help you. And it's good that you've identified that you say these things, because it helps. You know, and like we always say, like little things like that helps people that are going through, that dark place. Sorry, I like talking a lot. And when the show's not about me.
No, I like it because you explained that a lot more eloquently than I did. So thank you.
Oh, this is probably the first time. If you hear other shows, it doesn't sound like that. Over to you, PEA and Irwine. You just want to touch on
it's
how
the
you go
thinking
home
chair,
It's the chair, and everybody's been mocking it last week, so I have to change the color. Nah, I like how you said, you know, even though you have a lot of people at home, you still find time. You still find time to, like, for yourself. We've spoken about your partner as well, and he's a great man, and you have, you know, a strong backbone. How, in your times where you're at your lowest, how did you get through life?
I'll be honest. I go back to it's my village. I think being at my lowest, you have your mum and dad, or mainly my mum. They don't believe in the whole. You're in a position where you can't get yourself out of. My lowest. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It would have to be just my village. Like it has. I'm gonna say like and Martin knows this. The owner of Blue Wave. I have. It's honestly. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I told myself I was gonna do this and get all emotional, because it doesn't help. But to be honest, I don't know how I got myself out. I just remember crying to a few people and I just shut the whole world out. I think, my family just didn't know how to kind of help me. My husband didn't know how to, there were just no words. There was just no words to kind of like get me out of that dark place. And I tell you, I think it was, I still don't know how I got out of it. I just remember being curled up in the room, and it was just a random podcast. It was just a random as podcast, that kind of popped up when I had my phone, because everyone was kind of like messaging me, annoying me, like, what's going on? Are you okay? And this podcast came up, was kind of like telling me, you've got this, I don't know where the podcast is, and I'll be honest, if I'm truly, truly honest with my response, I to this day, I believe it was God. It was a message that was sent, from God to kind of like wake up, you there's more. And, I think that might have been the turning point. But then I still don't know, because I went through hell and back. There's only a very, very few people that know. I remember crying to Martin, reaching out to Martin. And he was just like, you got this, I got your back. And, and then I've, Fala, my husband, he was amazing. He was patient. But then again, as a woman, as a very complicated, high maintenance type of woman I am, and I say that honestly, he couldn't find the words to kind of like help me out of that dark place. And honestly, the only thing that I remember was taking myself to the hospital. After, I was pregnant, at the time, and I was taking myself to the hospital. And I think it was that moment, maybe when my last Talia was born. I don't even remember anything. I honestly do not remember I don't remember my pregnancy. I don't remember my family. I don't remember events. It was such a dark time in my life. I don't remember any of the memories that come up on Facebook. I didn't remember a damn thing, and that's how bad it was. And I just remember going to the hospital and the nurse saying, "Are you sure you're pregnant?" Because I had lost. I think I was size 16, and I had lost. I think I went down. I went down to about size 8, and this was full term. And I'm at the hospital, and I think Talia was definitely probably that moment when when I had her. I knew I was still in a very dark place, but I knew that she was gonna be probably the only thing that's gonna keep me going. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, my hand on heart, I actually don't know how I got out of it. It was just really, really, really good, honest people. Like, yeah, the betrayal people have, it's such a massive, it makes such a dark, massive impact on someone that honestly, it was so dark that I think I was kind of like ready to kind of like do the damage, like call up on the mongrel mobs or something. I don't know. Call up the gang members, burn that person's house down. That's how dark it was. Like I was ready to serve a life in prison because people like that do not deserve to, to survive and to be happy. So that's how dark it was. And I'm not saying this to encourage people, but I'm just being honest because I tell you, when you're in that dark place, I don't think there's anything that can get you out. I think it was just the constant prayers from, one of my good friends who's actually the minister, Gary and Ola, but otherwise, I don't know. I don't know how I got out of it, to be honest.
Do you know what? Can I just say that, like, even though you are mentioning like this very, very dark place that you're in, like, I think that you still reaching out to like people that were so close to you and telling them like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I think that is a huge strength in itself, because I know when I was going through that dark space, like I couldn't tell my mom, I couldn't tell my dad, I couldn't tell anyone. It's not because they weren't going to be there for me. It's just because like I didn't have that courage inside of me to be like, hey, like I need help. So like for you to even just in your darkest moments to reach to your close like, people in your village and say like, yo, this is what I'm feeling. I think that's like a huge strength in you that you probably didn't recognize you had.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, being a Samoan girl, and I'm the worst. I am the worst person. I like mocked my family members, like certain members of my family. They reached out. Oh, I'm going through depression or whatever, and I laughed. And it wasn't until I went through, that dark time in my life, I just realized, that's probably when I like put my guard down, and I was just like, here I am trying to burn down someone, like thinking the worst thing to happen to a person that has betrayed you and, really ruined you. And here I am laughing at someone else saying, oh, hey, I'm not feeling well. I've been diagnosed with this, and I laugh. And I think for me, I regret laughing. Yeah, but it's just a typical island kind of trait to have, is we have to be strong, we have to be tough. But I'm so sorry to the person that I laughed at. I didn't need to. Yeah.
That's definitely a perspective thing there. The coping mechanism of laughing at something, and sometimes too we may be laughing at something just for the hell of it, but it's because we probably don't understand what's actually happening. And I often have that as well. When I hear about something, I'm actually like internally I'm feeling for that person, but on the outer I'm giggling because that's the only way I know. And so when PEA talks about that, that's definitely something that I've been brought up with as well. We just tend to laugh at it, but there's definitely no intention behind that laugh.
Yeah, I think we've all gone through that too, and I think I still do it to this day. Like when someone's hurt, like that little remark that kind of, like it makes you laugh at the end of it, but it's hurting. Like even when someone says it to me, like it's and it affects me. Oh, I'll laugh it off, but deep down I don't address it, because that laugh is like the end to all, or into all that conversation. Oh, I'll just laugh it off. But now how do I kind of get it out of my system. I don't. I keep it in, bottle it up. It just keeps, all this weight starts to come down, and then at some point it's gonna come out in a negative way, and it does, because as you say, Pacifica and Māori people, that's been like that's how it's been taught, or not even that. You learn off people and the way they act, so you do the same back. Like, for example, parents. One thing that I've always taken away and I've learned from the show is, that's all my parents had, the tools that they had. Now I have to be better and actually learn more, get some more tools and be better. But we can't carry on that same, what do you call it? After generations after generation, I don't know the word.
Cycle.
Yeah, that cycle. You can't keep it going.
Cycle.
So, Bear, man, I thank you for sharing that, because it is a dark place, and especially when you have there's someone that actually puts you there. If I'm on the right track, I hate that people contribute to putting you in a dark place. They're not even worth it. So I'm happy to see that you've gotten through. You've got through, and it's what I'm sick. There you go.
Sorry.
Thank you again. Through my motivational.
Must be my wife.
Through my motivational speech, someone can.
Sorry, Tessa.
Cut it down to 2 minutes. Now, I was just saying, it's so good to see that after everything you've gone through, all that pain, all that hurt, you still got your smile. You're still laughing to this day. Is there anything that you've learned to be as happy as you are? Like, is there something else you've learned along the way as well? I know you've gotten through, but have you learned stuff along the way? With I've
actually just learned, for me personally, and it doesn't work for all. I've just learned to rely on your trusted few. I wouldn't, I strongly believe that you really, really need to, and I mean, like, the one thing that my mom always said to me, never trust anyone. And that's the honest truth. And I now understand why, because, and I tell you, I tell everyone everything about me. I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. But there's certain information that I don't openly share. The one thing I've learned is that only trust your siblings, like your mom, your dad, your husband. Because at the end of the day, like your family, they are the only ones who will, they won't go out there and try and, use the information that you've got to ruin you. Like, why would they do that? I mean, unless it's, and for me, I've learned the hard way. I've actually learned the hard way that my family are the only ones that are gonna ever, pull me out of the crap, the shit, and they've stood by me. And I tell you what, my family is probably the people that I treat like crap the most. They get treated like crap. My whole family. So, and because just because I can, but that's helped me. They've helped me with so much. And then after I have my vent to them and, to my trusted, I've had my vent, I've had my cry. I'm out there, I'm like, hi, everyone, how's it going? And then my sister's like, look at this chick, she's all happy and stuff. But just a minute ago at home, she's yelling and screaming, the house down. But that's because my family they're my safe place, eh? Like, that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned is you can have 10 million followers, 10 million friends, but none of them will ever fight the battle the way that your family do. And I believe that 100%. That they've been so loyal, and I'm not talking just about I'm talking about my extended family. They've had to take a lot of heat, with my type of lifestyle that I enjoy to live. But they've been the only ones that have been there. So that's probably the one thing that I've learned is choose who you trust wisely, because we live in a world that and it's just some people, it's not intentional. They don't actually go they're not actually trying to go out there to ruin you. I think that's just them. That's who they are, and that's how they survive. So I've just learned that not everyone is gonna respond the same. Not everyone's gonna, it is what it is. And those toxic people, that's just how they function. So that's probably the biggest lesson is just go back to the planning board and go back to your roots, really. Yeah.
Nice.
Can hear all the.
Sorry, is it frozen again?
No.
No, I think that's been us all as well. Again, just to touch on, family will always be there, and I think what you said about trust doesn't come easy. So having to put your trust in someone else and then breaking it for you, it does take a toll, and it closes barriers too. And I'm sure we've all gone through the same kind of hurt. People, doing that sort of shit is not even worth your time, your effort, but at the end of the day, it's taking away your life. It's taking away just taking away stuff that you feel is happy. But we had a question in the chat, and it's normally people mocking my my chair. I think it was one from before we move forward, sorry, just a quick mention of our sponsors at Mask Familiar, who at the moment they've put their, I think, business on hold due to some of the changes in requirements, but they've still been on board with us to this day. So shout out to at Mask Familiar, who will shortly, hopefully soon, they might come back. We're just going to hear from the boss. So at Mask Familiar, thank you to our sponsors. And usually we have a segment where we play the video, but our producer's not here. It's all up to me, and I'm probably doing a shit job at this too. And we have overlays, which is not coming up because I'm not doing a good job. But ladies, there was a question from Lance. Who will be one of your top, I guess, guests that you've had on, and who would be someone that you'll choose in the future as one of the
Do you know what?
Who would you like to have on?
That is like literally an impossible question to answer, because every single guest we've had, everyone literally is my favorite, because every single guest, like you form a different connection with every single guest, and every single guest brings their own special something to the show and to your life. So it's honestly really, really hard to choose one favorite one. I can't. But the one person that I would love to have on the show one day for myself is Ricky Martin, because I love Ricky Martin so much. So that's my favorite person that I would love to have on the show. But as to like choosing the one special favorite guest, I couldn't, because every single person is just like the shiny beacon in their own right.
Yeah.
And yourself, Bear? Sorry, we might be delayed.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Claudia. It's funny that the people have always Oh, sorry. I was answering the question. Sorry. I would have to agree with Claudia. I don't. It's so hard to pick somebody. Every single person that has blessed our show have also been have added so much value to our lives. Like they've made us. There's just parts. They've just added so much value to my life, and they bring so much joy. They've made me realize that every single person contributes to life in their own way, in their special way. And that's why it was important to really, really, search for the unsung heroes in our communities, because their stories are so rich, and they really do get you by. And that is right now it's my happy place. Like, that's what you look forward to. But if I was to pick one, if there was a favorite part of the show, and this is a throwback, was when I had Fiji. I had a phone interview with Fiji, and that's a shout out to the cousin Lapi Mariner, who helped push. I actually annoyed him to help me get Fiji on the show, because we needed to push the show in the early days, when it was a passion project for Martin and I, and we were kind of like really wanting to push the show, and Lapi managed to come through with us for Fiji. So that's probably one of the biggest highlights. And if I could bring a guest on, and I've already messaged him, is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So yeah. But thanks for the question.
I'm actually surprised that people in the chat don't know who Ricky Martin is. Like, you guys know who Ricky Martin is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said.
Who doesn't know who? I know.
He's from Apia.
Sure. Survey.
Not that Ricky Martin. We're talking about the.
They're probably young bucks.
So we just go through another question. It's from Lisa. Shout out to Lisa, and also shout out to the chat, man. It's been some good questions. So, question from Lisa: when you say you were in the dark time, do you now recognize signs of when you might be going that way again, and not bottle it up like what Teza said?
Sorry, before Bear answers that question, no, Ricky Martin is not a porn star, but he could pretty much well be, because he's gorgeous. Just say. Do you want me to answer the question first, or?
We can go both of you guys.
Both.
Yeah, you kind of do. Yeah. You answer.
Okay, me. Dark
Who's
time,
going, me or you?
I don't know. Okay, I'll go. Okay. I think that over time you do recognize the signs of when you got to go to a dark place, and I've definitely learned to kind of express myself a bit more. I'm definitely the type of person, ever since I was like little, I'm definitely not the person to kind of like put up my question and ask for help. Like I've just always felt like in asking for help, I'm kind of burdening the other person, which is not the case, guys. Definitely not the case. I know now, before I head into a dark place, like I just tell my mom, I'm like, hey mom, like I'm going through this. And she's the most beautiful person. Like she knows that if I'm going through that place, like she'll start cooking me my favorite foods. She'll start playing my favorite music. She'll like drag me out of bed to go for walks. My dad, the exact same. My brother, the exact same. So like Bear said before, like you really, our family, if we're being completely honest, our family are the people that we treat the less respectfully, because they are our safe space, but they are the group of people that come through. And so I've just learned to just communicate and express myself and just put my hand up and be like, hey mom, dad, Toshi, like I'm about to go through a moment, like just, heads up, and they'll just come through without even me telling them. what I need. Like they just know what I need. Yeah.
Now we do have a delay from Bear.
Yeah,
So bear with us.
I'm probably the same.
It might
Sorry,
just be
guys.
no,
Can
it's
you hear me now?
it's the internet, so it's all good. We just usually wait for you, and someone in the chat said, "Can you not do that? It's scaring them."
Sorry.
But no, it's just internet. It's all good. Go ahead, sis.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Sometimes you kind of can't. If you're too busy in your mind, when I'm too busy in my head, I don't know that I'm going through a dark time. I mean, it's not until I hit rock bottom and I find myself back at square one, that's when I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, you know. I don't actually have, and I still go through it. I still every single day. Something that triggers my memory of certain things that I don't like about certain people. I that's when I go back into that dark place. Sometimes it's different for me. This is my personal experience. Sometimes it's different. But yeah, I have managed to identify some of the bigger moments when I'm really, really going through that rough patch. And for me, I always like I go back to the very, very trusted few. And I think in the past, I've classed people as I've trusted them, but there's only very little information I give now. You know, and I wanted to make a shout out to one of my good friends, you know, Bex, Sharon, and Tash. Tash is in Australia, my mate NT. And I think 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going through that dark place again. I'm on the phone to her, and she's so patient, and she's hearing me out. You know, so yeah, it's kind of hard because I think everyone experiences their dark place differently, and I think it's kind of like, yeah, I think for me, you just kind of have to really, really be careful as well, because I just wanted to quickly say this. I found I went through a really, really, really dark place after I had baby, and I had no one around. And that dark place is a place that I never, ever, ever want to experience again. And I never want any mother to experience it. So if you are in a position, a new mom, and you are in that dark place, I'm telling you, reach out. Like, just call any number, whoever it is, call them, because it's so important. Because that dark place, I actually understand. It numbs you and your thoughts and your whole body. It's so numb that you're like this close to doing something that you will regret forever. So when you hit that dark place, man, reach out, reach out to someone that you trust, but otherwise, yeah, try and identify your little patterns. But otherwise, yeah, that's me. Yeah, sorry if I'm still lagging.
Who's sorry, just want to touch on if for yourself you have a partner, as a woman, what would you tell other men out there regarding mental health? What yourself, Claudia, and Bear, what would you tell other men that you know, like we said, that just bottle stuff up? What would you tell them?
I know from like my personal experiences with like men, I guess in a romantic sense, like I would say, don't laugh if your partner says that they're going through like something that's difficult. That's a definite no. Does not help the situation. But from a men's perspective, I think definitely, I know we have, especially from like a South American culture, like we put so much burden on our men to be like these very strong, powerful, macho men. But I think a true sense of strength and vulnerability is when you are vulnerable and you can turn to your partner and be like, hey, like, this is what I'm going through. And the beauty about women is that by nature we are very nurturing. So if our men come to us and they say like, hey, look, I am feeling this way and I'm lacking this and this and this, I bet you that your female partner will do everything in their power to make you feel better, because that is just women by nature. We like to heal things. We like to look after our close bare space. But like, so I would say to our men, don't be afraid to just open up. Definitely don't see it as a weakness. If anything, it is a strength to just open up and be very honest about your feelings. And if you've seen any Hollywood movie, women always find men that are like very expressive of emotions very, very attractive. So just think on that. I think it is Club Royals at the moment, guys.
And yourself, sis? I know it's late a bit.
I saw that. That's just my brother. Yeah, it was Club Royal. So shout out to my... Oh. To our men. Sorry, I just kind of need to scull this a little bit, eh?
Let's go.
To our brothers. Actually, I'm gonna say it like this. To our women. I speak as a wife, and I'm gonna say that again. I'm a terrible wife. I'm quite terrible. I think let's go. I think our women need to bring it down a little bit, just a little bit. I think our men would love to share to us, to our partners, and express their feelings. I know my partner would love to express what he needs to me and his frustrations out, but he doesn't because, well, I'm quite a strong individual, and I can hand on heart probably leave tomorrow and be okay, but not okay. I think it's important for our men to share. It is important because if you don't share, then you kind of you're both stuck, and then you kind of start playing the blame game, and then I'm constantly blaming my husband for certain things, and because he hasn't opened up, but sorry, my family's commenting and they're laughing. This is my family. They're on the chat laughing at me. But yeah, it is really, really important for our men to open up. Don't bottle it up, because even in a relationship, it makes it difficult for both sides. But it's so important to our men to just please reach out, really, really, really reach out. Because Haley is laughing. Haley is laughing. So Haley is he is I love him. This is my brother. But he also is married to a very strong woman, which is my sister. And he can't cope either. So he opens up to me and he opens up to our family, and how he says, this and this about our family. So I think if everyone was a little bit more like Haley, and he's actually Lalokonga, Cook Island, sorry. If everyone was a little bit more like Haley, opened up and a little bit more, then I think we'll be okay. But I think guys, open up. It's important. Wives, just relax, man. And husbands, let your wives go out, man.
Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna let my wife go out, okay? Stay home. Nah, I guess at this time of the show, we'd love to go on for hours and hours and hear the ladies' stories, but I think we need to put our kids to sleep, eh? No. I think we come to a part where we share a positive part or a positive thought of the week, advice, where we share with just anyone out there, and also man, you scared me there. Sis, man, come on. Just a positive advice, anything that you want to share for later viewers and listeners. So I'll pass it over to Mr. Edge Walker, aka Wills.
Hey, so I guess first I just want to obviously acknowledge the two ladies for jumping on and sharing their stories, getting a bit of an insight into your guys' lives, which is awesome to see and hear. No doubt that there'll be somebody out there that's can relate. Also, too, is my 2 cents is me jumping on this podcast was this platform was to normalize having those conversations as a man, as a Pacifica man, as a father. I need to learn how to do that, not just give advice and not know how to take it. If I'm to leave anything, it's every mistake has a lesson, so just look out for the lesson. Thanks, ladies.
Charles, I think for me, a positive has been just like the lady said, being open is probably not as easy as everyone says. Just being open and letting everything out. We're not going to all know the answers to everything in life, but just keeping that open communication when you're feeling down, just say it, and giving that space for someone to go through it. Sometimes it's just letting them be, letting them get up in their feels or their feelings, and just let them know you are going to be there at the end of it, because people get through stuff with the help of other people, but not necessarily always in that space or that time at that moment. So just giving people space. People do need time away, not like time to go somewhere else for a run or something, but it could be, but just giving space to someone. Again, thank you to the ladies from Blutable Podcast, Claudia and Bear. Thank you so much for jumping on. We'd love to have you guys back and share a bit more of your wine talks or your drinks. But we'll pass it over to you guys and share a little positive or just advice for our guests in the future.
I think I'm going to go first because I know that I'm not lagging. So, but I just want to say, guys, honestly, a huge thank you to you, Terry, and to Wills. Like, it's been such an absolute honor to even just be on the show, and not even that, just to have you guys be part of our lives, and not just as friends, but you guys are literally just like family to us. We know that anytime we need something, we can just call on you guys, and that's an absolutely beautiful thing to have, especially in the world that we live in today. So honestly, thank you so much for having us on the show, for your love and your constant support, and just for also being like a very rock solid foundation for us. But I guess my advice for the week is that I know sometimes we have these goals in our lives and we have all these amazing things that we want to achieve, and we kind of make them so huge that it just seems so unattainable. But if you really think about it, just like believing that you can do it is just 50% of the work. Like, that's 50% of the work done. And then all you got to do afterwards is just break everything down, just distinguish the small little steps that will take you to your bigger goal. But honestly, just if you believe in yourself, that's all you got to do. All you got to do is just believe in yourself, and you are halfway there. But that's my positive advice. Hopefully someone resonates with it.
Thank you. Over to you, sis.
I think we got 20 seconds left to wait, guys.
Okay, am I on?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you so much for the Boys podcast. Guys, you already know, there's a special place in my heart for you guys because I know that this podcast is important. Now it's nice to kind of just have a glass of wine and have a chat, and normalize it because it's important. A massive shout out to the Blue Wave team, the management team, and the staff because, to be honest, I don't think if we didn't have the podcast, I don't think we would have all of these millions and millions of opportunities that are in front of us. So I just wanted to make a massive shout out to the Blue Wave team because how blessed am I that even though I've gone through my dark walk, that I'm still able to show my face in public and be like, what's up, everybody? Because I'm not going to allow anyone to rob me and my family the joy that I am worthy of, because that very joy is something that my family as a whole, we worked our asses off to get to where we are. And I will never, ever look back and allow anyone to rob me of that, ever. Not my family. Because they deserve any successful anything that's successful in my life. I owe it to my family, my dad and my family. But that's my one positive thing is if there's anything that I've learned is never ever let your dark place be the dark place, because don't let people, the toxic people that you surround, do not let them rob you from the joy that you are worthy of. So that's all I've got to say. But a massive shout out to my ainga, to the VAE, what's up? And of course to my Blue Wave ainga. And thank you to my tele who saved my life. So thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely shout out to the family for jumping on. It's always good to have a positive chat in the live chat room, even though half the time they're throwing me under. So shout out to the family, Lance, Lisa, and all the that sister's family. So again, we thank you guys for jumping on. We'll catch up at a later time. I got to put this one to bed, but this is for the Boys podcast. Thank you. Teza, by the way.
I'm Edge Walker.
I'm Claudia.